Fantasy casting is always a lot of fun. Sometimes a celebrity just looks so much like a fictional person that it's almost a shame to see them not fulfilling that role. I mean, just look at this picture of Danny DeVito and then at a picture of George Jetson's boss Cosmo G. Spacely to see what I mean. Nevertheless, for reasons in a large pile marked many, these real-life actors have never been asked to take the mantle of these iconic characters. But when you look at some of these entries on this list, you might end up agreeing that Hollywood is indeed missing out on quite a rather large payday. With this in mind, I'm Jules for Whatculture.com, and these are 8 perfectly obvious casting choices Hollywood is ignoring. Number 8. Richard Madden as Cyclops. Poor old Cyclops, he's had a bit of a bad rap in the movies, hasn't he? He's always portrayed as the killjoy. And while this is true in the comics as well to some extent, he balances it out with being a strong, determined leader. Therefore, we think that Richard Madden would make a great choice for Cyclops, as not only has his time on Game of Thrones shown him to be a fantastic character actor, but also that in his role as Robb Stark, he showed great ability of balancing emotion with restraint. The actors who've previously taken up the mantle have never truly delivered on the Cyclops conundrum. He's a character who's filled with rage and regret, who's had to systematically learn to shut these sides of him off. Much like his powers, he has to keep his emotions under wraps, and Richard Madden looks to be the best fit to accomplish this. Number 7. Jane Lynch as Maggie Sawyer. You may not be as familiar with Maggie Sawyer as you should be, but in the DC universe she's a force to be reckoned with. She's a cop who's worked both Gotham and Metropolis, so is seasoned when it comes to the regular rogues gallery of Batman and Superman. Her take-no-shit attitude coupled with the short cropped hair makes for an obvious casting choice in the form of Jane Lynch. Lynch is famous for her characters that are focused on either being brutally funny or just plain brutal. She could be a good addition to the DC universe for not only future Superman and Batman flicks, but also play a hand in the rise of Batwoman due to her appearances in her narratives. Number 6. Channing Tatum as US Agent. I mean, just look at that jawline. Tatum is pretty much primed to don the spandex at some point. Plus, with the events of Civil War still in the air, it might be a good idea for the US Agent to be introduced as a replacement for Chris Evans' Goody Two-Stripes. It would also make for a good rivalry between the two and even act as a way of Evans stepping out of the role which he said he wants to do. Tatum has shown in the past a wide range of roles, some good and some bad, but the sheer variety means he'd be able to play this pro-wrestling loving, gruff and altogether meaner version of the American way. Number 5. Triple H as Sabertooth. There have already been 2 actors who have taken up the Sabertooth mane, but both of which have been a little bit lackluster. But you know who does look like a shaved prehistoric predator? Well, the one, the only, the King of Kings, Triple H. I mean, look at him. He's built of solid granite, possesses a stare that would give kids war flashbacks, and has proven in the ring time and time again that he's not afraid of a good dust-up as a bad guy. While some might critique his acting skills, you can't deny that Trips has an attention-grabbing tone and command of an audience. Therefore, if he could push this charisma through to the big beast on screen, he'd make a great villain. Number 4. Sylvester Stallone as Cable. Now, we know that Josh Brolin has already taken up the role in the upcoming Deadpool film, but as with all the alternate timelines and universes, who's to deny that Sly Stallone wouldn't be a great fit for the grey-haired warrior from the future? He's got the gruffness down for a start, and is by no means a stranger to the action film genre. The Expendables proved that Sly still has a few good stunts left in him, and even as a supporting role would bring a much-needed level of aggression to the techno-virus time traveler. Number 3. Neil Patrick Harris as the Riddler. In the best possible way, Neil Patrick Harris is perfect for this role because he's just the right level of annoying. He's got the ability to be so much of an ass in his roles, but still come across as likable and funny. The Riddler is not, despite what he would have you believe, one of Batman's greatest rivals. He's a bit of a comedy joke note with a few sharp edges, and Patrick Harris would nail these moments. He could be goofy, insane, and evil all at once, which is exactly what the Riddler needs. Number 2. Idris Elba, John Stewart. Let's just say what needs to be said. The Green Lantern film with Ryan Reynolds in wasn't great. It was hampered by dodgy CGI, hokey writing, and generally a large amount of boring. Which is why there not only needs to be a reboot, but a brand new guy to step into the projected shoes. A man tipped to be the next Bond, which just exudes his overall attitude. He's played multiple action roles, oozes charisma, and is able to balance this seriousness with comedy, making him perfect for one of the best-known Lantern Corps members. And yes, we know he's already in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but others have switched franchises and sides before, so why not move from a supporting to a lead role in the process? And number 1, Clint Howard as Mr. Mixer Spittlelick. Mr. Mixer-Spittlelick and Clint Howard have a lot in common. For example, many people don't know their names or why they're so famous. He's mostly a bit part actor, but he has such a recognizable face and acting style that he never fails to leave a mark. And what a mark he'd make as the being from the fifth dimension, whose technology is so advanced that it appears to be magic in our eyes. And let's face it, the physical likeness cannot be denied, as with a quick costume change he'd basically be ready for the part. Now obviously Superman is going in a very gritty and po-faced direction at the moment, but that's not to say that a cameo or something along those lines wouldn't be impossible to imagine. And that's our list. Got any other celebrities who are just one panel away from greatness? Well, let me know about them in the comments section below. Then drop back to whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. Then follow us on the Twitters, go on, you know you want to. And as always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon.